These days, there are not a lot of British legislators around in Strasbourg. 2 weeks ahead of the vote, they prefer campaigning at home in Great Britain. Here they all know the race is tight, so EU politicians are working as hard as they can to lobby for the benefits of staying in the EU.
I mean, to leave the European Union would be a leap into the dark. Nobody knows exactly what would happen, but all major institutes agree that it would have severe negative consequences, especially when it comes to employment in the UK and when it comes to the further economic development.
A Brexit would be a long and painful divorce. Separation years with a lot to decide. Future relationship has to be designed. Should UK opt for the Norway model with economic association but with strict EU rules, or the Swiss model with uncountable extra relations without any political power? Members of the United Kingdom Independence Party seem not to worry about trade. They play the democratic card instead, saying Great Britain needs its sovereignty back.
It's very, very important that people get the facts, then they make their decision. I mean, this is a people's choice, ultimately. And there's no point, we can throw figures and numbers, we can do all sorts of things, but really people need to bring it back down to what matters to them.
But for some, misinformation is partly responsible for the fact that the race is so close. Legislator Richard Corbett even developed an app to fight scaremongering.
This story, is it true? So you click that. What's the story? How reliable is it? Not reliable. What are people's sources of information on Europe? What are they hearing about it? Especially people who are not interested in all the details, the ins and outs. What's the background noise they hear about Europe? And that has been consistently negative for many, many years.
Regardless of their political color, all politicians in the European Parliament fighting for Remain agree on one thing: there won't be a better deal and it won't be easy to leave.
The idea that any country, particularly Germany, will give us a good deal if we leave is for the birds. It's a dream, because why should they? If they do that, then any other country could also leave and get the same. There has to be what we call an exit penalty from the European Union club. So I would expect that the other 27 countries, led by the big countries, would want to make it very difficult for Britain if we leave, and rightly so, because this is part of abandoning your allies.
All in all, a Brexit would mean at least 4 tough years of negotiations with the EU member states, facing always the risk to end up as a simple third country.